So I just wanted to start off by saying this video that this is going to be not edited at all. It's going to be me talking straight through, giving my opinions and viewpoints, and saying what I want to say and what I need to say. And second off is that this video is not monetized at all. There's no money going through to this video. I'm not making money off of it. I'm not big enough. And then before I donated it to the charities involved, and I do it, and if somehow you magically say as it's not my fault, I didn't put ads on this. I'm not. That's Google. I'm not even able to have ads, and then links will be in the description. So why don't we start? So I debated on making this video for quite some time. I wasn't sure if I should. I was talking to family members and friends, and I was going back and forth. Like, should I? Like, do I need to say something about this? Do I have to? Like, am I even involved? Like, does it matter what I say? Am I suppressing other voices? And I decided that I should because I wanted to share my own viewpoints and I wanted to spread and create a discussion because there needs to be a discussion amongst my community and amongst my friends and family. So to start off, what is going on is absolutely horrible. It is not right. There's nothing that should be. And also why I think that making this video is because as a cis straight male, the most the least oppressive things ever and that have been least oppressed is that my voice, even though it shouldn't, it sometimes is heard more than other people, generally in the media or in general. So I felt that my voice could help spread awareness and that could go out and help cause awareness for this issue for Black Lives Matter. So first off, let's go around my background. So I may be look white and I may be white, but I am Latino and I am Jewish. They are oppressed and they are minorities, but this isn't about demeaning or minimalizing other people's problems. This is saying where I've come from. So from where I've grown up, is that I've grown up in a well community and a very politically active and welcoming and inviting, and that is shown because I think that's helped me with knowing cases and knowing that things aren't right and being more socially aware and being stuff, and that's been helpful. But there has been times that I've been, not a lot, but there has been times where I've been like, oh, you can't be Jewish and you can't be Hispanic or you can't do this. But it has been harder for my parents. My dad, he grew up in Florida, primarily Christian area, and he was always criticized. He was in a small community. And then my mom, she looks Hispanic and she looks Latino, and her skin color is. And when we were younger, where we used to live, they thought that she wasn't our mom, that she was housekeeping, she would get nasty looks. And then my grandparents on both sides, they both immigrated to America, and so they were during the civil rights movement. They had issues, and they weren't treated right, and that's just my background overall. So I think where I grew up in that, it being proactive, being invited, and that there's different multiple cultures is why I am what I am. And to preface to what's saying is I am always open to discussion, no matter what, which is why I'm gonna have comments enabled. Is that I am open to discussion. I like to discuss. I like to debate with people that if someone thinks that my viewpoint's wrong, please tell me, call me out on it. I want to discuss and learn and grow with you, and I want to debate and think why that we have different viewpoints and talk and discuss, which is something that a lot of people aren't, no matter which side you are of the political spectrum or of no matter which issue or any topic you are, there's people on either side that are very closed off and that think that the other person is automatically wrong. And I'm not trying to generalize, but there are people like that no matter which side you're on. And for me, that's not the case. That I like to discuss and I like to debate with people and think, but things I don't debate about is racism because it's wrong. And then for me, that I don't want to make this video to seem that, oh, I'm trying to monetize on this, I'm trying to cash grab this. I'm just trying to get my opinions out and trying to tell and trying to help spread out. And I'm not trying to make it seem like, oh no, because I'm doing this and because I'm supporting this, I'm not a racist. I'm not trying to do things like that. I'm trying to help. And so to go on is that what is happening is not right, is that it shouldn't happen. It shouldn't be a case where black people are feared to this day and are hated just because of their skin color, because their pigmentation. It's just science. They're differently chemically made up than us. There's nothing different no matter what you are or who you're different. It doesn't matter who you are. We're all the same. We need to treat each other equally. and that it's disgusting to me that someone who is clearly restrained and who did nothing wrong, and there's 3 police officers enough to handle the situation, even if he was doing something wrong, which I'm saying he's not, but even if he was clearly restrained, and that he was on the ground and they're choking him, so they shouldn't be. So I'm taking it from so. Let's go off the police officer's point. Like, if their goal was to restrain the child, they've done that. He's in handcuffs. He's on the ground. There's nothing. There's no danger to do. He can't pick up a weapon. He can't do anything. He's completely restrained, and that he shouldn't be. You shouldn't be seeing. And another thing is that they're first responder. First responders' job is to help someone. They shouldn't be on their neck. And if someone's saying, "I need help. I'm choking," you shouldn't be doing that. And when it's 3 white officers going around and recording, that's not right. And the other issue is that there's been multiple instances where there's been racism, but it hasn't been this viral. It's because it hasn't been caught and it hasn't been leaked out. And that's why. And I'm glad because it's sparking discussion and it's not right. And then if that were a white person, I guarantee you that would not happen. There are multiple instances where white people have who've done more heinous crimes or similar as a black person, and they've been let off easier. There are multiple instances, and people say there isn't white privilege. Tell me, there is white privilege. I am a white person. I know that there's white privilege out there, and I'm disgusted to say that, but I've done that sometimes. So, for example, when I've gone into the city at night and when it's been dark and I see an African American, I clutch my belongings harder than I would if we're a white person, and I'm ashamed to say that. And that's something that society has done. And that's gone to my neck point, is that racism is a big topic. It's been in our issue for centuries and centuries, ever since that they came over as slaves. And what I'm trying to get at is racism taught? Is it learned, or is it embedded from birth? And some people say is that something isn't necessarily taught, is it not embedded from birth? It's taught and gone on. But I say that if something has an issue that's been going on for centuries, it eventually becomes the norm, even though it shouldn't, and that it's immediately imprinted on from birth when someone is born, which it shouldn't be. It shouldn't be printed on from some birth. And I think, and I am ashamed to say that it will take a couple generations to weed out racism and inequality. And then also, so I haven't talked about this much with people, but for example with curse words, that I thought is that people give it the power, that people say it, so people just think that's not bad anymore, that it won't be, and that if people just ignore it and dismiss it as being a bad word, it won't. But that is not the case with racial slurs. You can't just say that, if people just stop thinking it's bad, then it won't be bad anymore. And that's not, but no, it's not. For example, the N word, that has been used for centuries to degrade them as less than humans. It is to call them something because they don't want to call them a person or a human. That's like, oh, look at him right there. He's not a person, so we're going to call him that word and degrade him until he's something else, and that he feels, and that they feel bad about themselves, that they think that they're less than us. So that is why my argument for curse words and slurs is that you can't, is that it doesn't apply to curse words, or to racial slurs, is that you can't just say, oh, if people don't give it that power, then it's not bad anymore, or if people stop discussing it. And then people also go against the argument, oh, why do black people say it? Why do you do that? And my point of view is they wear it to counter back, like it's wearing a badge of honor. Like if they show that they're not affected by it, then it won't. Then they'll get to satisfaction. For example, if a bully teases you for a shirt, and then if you start wearing the shirt and being boasting and proud out and say, oh no, I don't care about it, then it won't give them that power anymore because they're seeing that you're not affected by it. Or for example, if I were a Jew during World War II and I wore yellow star out proud, and then that would be like, I don't care that you're trying to grade me. I'm using it as a strength and taking it from a weakness to a strength. It's just why I think black people use it. And tell me if you think I'm wrong. And that I think it's wrong. And that the other issue is that you can't just use words. You also have to use actions. People, I've talked to people, and wise people have told me that sometimes words are not enough. Actions are true, but that's not. But also the case is that words help out. If a whole community comes together and starts speaking over and over their minds and keeps telling people, then words will eventually help out. But my point and what I'm going across again is that looting and rioting is not good. It's causing a problem. You are just as worse as the racist. Even though that might be extreme, that is hard. You're causing more violence, and you're causing more trouble, and you're causing more disruption, which is why peaceful protesters are good. And this is why, and I don't blame people saying that they're calling looter organizations terrorist organizations, because they're destroying property and stuff. And it's not right that they're doing that. They should be peaceful protesting. And as Dr. Martin Luther King said, one of my idols is that in order to get change done, you need to do it peacefully. Because if you were to do But that was my sister. But anyway, is that peaceful protest is that because if you instill someone into fear and you make them do that because they're scared of you, that is not them truly agreeing with you. That is just because they're scared and they don't want to go against you and afraid of being retaliated against. But if you have a peaceful discussion with them and if you talk to them and if they get to your side, that will more likely them agreeing with you. And I want to put my money where my mouth is. I am going to protest soon, sometime soon, and I'm going to do that because it's not enough to say that, oh, I'm supporting this, I'm doing this, because you're not helping and you're not helping enough. You're just doing it for saying, oh yeah, I'm doing this. If you really want to help out, be there on the streets with all the other people and go down and face the hardships that they are, and go down on the streets and protest peacefully, please. The key word is peacefully, which is what I am trying to do. I want to do that. But the only reason I'm scared of what'll happen is I say dumb shit. I've already acknowledged that. I don't want to, but I will, and I'm going to do this. And then people are like, oh, if you're going to do this, why don't you vlog it to show proof that I know that'll be a comment and stuff. Well, the thing is, I think that'll be disrespectful to the protesters and to the police officers. I go like, hey, look, I'm getting some cool content for my YouTube channel. Look, I'm influencing the protests, and I think that's wrong. I'm not going to do that. So I will go, and I will peacefully protest, but I am not going to record it. Other thing is, I'm going to also link down. And the other thing is that I am going to leave comments open and dislikes and likes and that because some people don't because they're worried. But no, I want discussion. I want you to tell me what you think I'm doing wrong, and I want to discuss with you. And that's what I'm about. That's what thing. And I think it's wrong that I know I keep elaborating, but I think it's wrong that people see people lessen them as inhuman just because of different skin color and of how they behave. And I think I was watching a YouTube video from an African American YouTuber, and I think they said it best right about the movement, is that a lot of people criticize the movement as being Black Lives Matter because it seems like they're not including other minorities and stuff. But I feel like black people are the most hated. They have been slaves for hundreds of years, maybe if not thousands, and we had a whole war about them, a whole war. The whole country was divided at one point. And anyway, to what the YouTuber said is maybe to rephrase it instead of being Black Lives Matter is that Black Lives Matter also or Black Lives Matter too is that we're not saying or degrading you, but Black Lives Matter also they also matter just as much as white lives. But let me know what you think about that. If that is a good thing or if it should be Black Lives Matter. But I think that is an interesting point is that the Black Lives Matter movement is not degrading or minimalizing other minorities like Hispanics or Asians, but it's saying that we matter just as much as them and we matter just as much as them, and we should be treated equally and fairly. And any way to wrap this up is that I'm trying to create a discussion between my community and my friends, and I want to know what people think, and I'm trying to share my voice and my opinion so that way they can be heard and that they can be helped out. And I want to help them out because I feel like it's wrong having dealt with some injustice and racial, but not a lot, that I want to help them out. And the thing is like, oh, and I'm sure people ask, oh, do you have black friends? Do you do this? Like, and I don't think that should be an issue. I should still be a part. And I don't because there's not a lot around here. But I don't think that they should be. Police brutality is nothing. And then let's take it now. I know a lot of people don't like this, but let's take this from a police standpoint. Is that people are attacking police officers and going after them, but not all of them are bad. The system may be bad, but not all of them. There's a difference between the system and them learning and stuff. Because I have relatives that are police members, and they are good. They are Hispanics or Latinos, and they are minorities, and they know what they're doing. They are good, honest to God people. And they shouldn't be getting flack and shit for this just because a small minority, then even if it isn't small minority, it still isn't all. It's a problem that we need to change the system. And it's not about, oh, weeding out one or two people. It's about changing our whole perspective as a community, as a generation, and getting people and changing it. And like I said earlier, it might take a couple generations, but it still is gone on. And it appalls me that even though that we've had a civil war about this, that thousands of people died because of fighting her. And then we also had civil rights movement where thousands of people died. And then we had bills passed, but it's still not how it should be. There's still white privilege and they're still in fear. This is why I'm making this video. So thank you all for watching and please share and let me know what you think. I'm out.